Getting your favorite LEGO set shouldn't feel like winning the lottery. But thanks to Scalpers, it does. LEGO reselling has turned into a massive business, with people buying up sets just to flip them for insane prices. And the worst part, true fans are the ones paying the price. But why is this happening? And is there a way to keep enjoying LEGO without falling into this trap? Today, we'll break down the problem, its impact, and most importantly, how you can avoid overpaying while still growing your collection. Stay until the end for tips on how to outsmart scalpers and make your display look epic without spending a fortune. Let's dive in. If you've been around LEGO for a while, you've probably noticed that something has changed in recent years. Before, buying a set was simple. You went to the store, picked out the one you wanted, and that was it. But today, getting your hands on certain sets can be a real mission impossible. LEGO has always been popular, but in recent years, its value as an investment has exploded. According to a study by the Moscow School of Economics, LEGO sets appreciate an average of 11% annually, which means they outperform traditional investments like gold, the stock market, or even real estate. This has attracted a new class of buyers, investors, and speculators. People who have never built a set in their lives are buying LEGO only to store it and sell it for a higher price in the future. This has caused many sets to quickly disappear from stores, forcing true fans to pay inflated prices on the secondhand market. For example, in 2021, when LEGO released the 10294 Titanic set, an impressive model with over 9,000 pieces, it sold out in less than 24 hours. Many of those who bought it didn't even want to build it. They simply knew that its price would increase over time. Today, if you search for this set on platforms like eBay, you'll see some sellers offering it for double or even triple its original price. This problem doesn't just affect giant sets like the Titanic, but also smaller, collectible models. One case that outraged many fans was the release of LEGO Ideas 21322 Barracuda Bay in 2020. This set was a modern reinterpretation of the classic 1980S LEGO pirate ship, and the community was eagerly awaiting it. But when it went on sale, boom! In less than an hour, it was already sold out on the LEGO online store. Many fans didn't even have the chance to add it to their cart before it disappeared. What's worse is that, on that same day, hundreds of units could already be seen on eBay and other resale sites with inflated prices up to 50% higher. Another more recent example is the LEGO 10300 Back to the Future DeLorean, released in April 2022. Demand was sky high, but due to scalpers, the set sold out in minutes, and for months was almost impossible to get official price. On platforms like eBay, the price reached $400, more than double its original cost of $170. These cases have generated a sense of frustration in the LEGO community. True fans, those who enjoy building and collecting, feel they are missing out on the opportunity to buy sets simply because scalpers are snapping them up to resell them later at inflated prices. Furthermore, this has led to an increasingly common practice: automated purchasing. Some resellers use bots that detect when a set is available and automatically buy it before a normal person even has a chance to visit the site. This is something that has already happened in the world of sneakers and video game consoles, and now it's affecting LEGO. If you're interested in hearing how to create bots to buy your favorite set before many resellers, be sure to subscribe and like it. If this video reaches 500 likes, you'll get a video about it. Another serious problem is what happens when LEGO decides to withdraw a set from the market. As many already know, LEGO doesn't manufacture its sets forever. Each model has a life cycle, and after a few years, the company discontinues it and stops producing it. This means that if you didn't buy it in time, the only way to get it will be on the secondhand market. And that's where prices skyrocket. An extreme case of this is the LEGO 10179 UCS Millennium Falcon, released in 2007. When it was released, its original price was $500, a high value for the time, but affordable for many fans. However, when LEGO discontinued it, resale prices exploded. For years, this set became one of the most valuable in LEGO history, reaching prices of up to $5,000 on the secondhand market. Another more recent case is LEGO 21309 NASA Saturn V, an incredible set depicting the Apollo 11 rocket. When LEGO discontinued it in 2019, its price on eBay went from $120 to over $300 in just a few months. Demand was so high that LEGO had to relaunch it in 2020 due to community pressure. This shows that the problem doesn't just affect the largest or most popular sets, but virtually any model with a loyal following. Many resellers buy sets that are about to be retired in bulk, knowing that they will soon be able to sell them for double or triple their original price. The big question is, what can LEGO do to stop this situation? Should they produce more of certain sets? Should they limit the number of purchases per person? In the next section, we'll explore possible solutions to this problem. But first, subscribe so you don't miss any news about upcoming set releases, which I know you're interested in. Given the growth of the resale market, many fans have asked, what is LEGO doing to prevent scalpers from dominating the market? And the answer is, it's not entirely clear. On the one hand, LEGO has tried to curb scalping with certain strategies, but on the other, there are signs that perhaps the company isn't so interested in eliminating this problem. One of the ways LEGO has tried to combat resale is by re-releasing out-of-stock sets. We've seen this with models like the LEGO Taj Mahal, 10,189, which was discontinued in 2010 and sold for over $2,000 on the used market. Surprisingly, in 2017, LEGO re-released it under the code 10256, drastically reducing the price and hurting resellers who were trying to sell it for triple its original price. Another example is the LEGO Creator Expert 10295 Porsche 911, which was out of stock for months, and many resellers took advantage of it to sell it for a higher price. However, LEGO put it back into production, lowering the resale price. Another strategy LEGO has tried is to limit the purchase of certain sets to 1 or 2 units per person, especially in the early days of launch. This occurred with the LEGO Star Wars 75313 UCS AT-AT, where each customer could only purchase 1 unit from the official store. The problem is that resellers have found ways to circumvent this restriction, either by using multiple accounts, asking family members to purchase for them, or even using bots to place automated orders. LEGO has also tried to give loyal fans a better chance of getting exclusive sets at a fair price. Through the LEGO VIP program, some users have early access to certain releases. However, this hasn't stopped sets from selling out in minutes and scalpers from continuing to dominate the market. Which brings us to the big question. Is LEGO really interested in curbing scalping, or is it simply in its interest for its products to be perceived as exclusive? If LEGO knows that certain sets are extremely popular, why don't they make more units? This is one of the biggest debates within the community. On the one hand, some believe that LEGO should increase production of the best-selling sets to prevent resellers from taking advantage of shortages. But on the other hand, there are those who think that LEGO deliberately keeps production limited to make its products more exclusive and desirable. The LEGO Ideas 21318 Treehouse, released in 2019, was an immediate hit. For months, it was sold out in the official store. And on resale platforms, prices rose by 40%. Why didn't LEGO simply produce more units immediately? Because the company follows a production system based on limited series, meaning that even if a set is popular, its production follows an established schedule. The LEGO Star Wars 75292 Razor Crest was another example of poor planning. It was released just as The Mandalorian was at its peak, and demand was huge, but LEGO didn't produce enough units. For months, it was virtually impossible to get it at the official price, allowing resellers to sell it for more than double its original price. So why doesn't LEGO increase production? There are several possible reasons. Cost control. More production means more spending on factories, warehousing, and distribution. Brand exclusivity. If a set is always easy to get, it loses some of its collectible appeal. Closed production cycles. LEGO plans its releases well in advance and can't always react quickly to high demand. The question is, should they change their strategy and produce more units in certain cases? Does LEGO really want to stop reselling? This is where opinions are divided. On the one hand, LEGO has taken some measures to try to reduce speculation, but on the other, it seems to benefit them that certain sets are difficult to obtain. Scarcity generates more desire, and that makes each exclusive release a surefire success. When LEGO released the LEGO 40,483 Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, it was offered as a promotional gift with the purchase of the UCS AT-AT. The offer lasted only a few hours before selling out. Immediately, resellers began selling the lightsaber on eBay for $200 or $300, even though it was a free gift. LEGO never replenished the stock, allowing resale to skyrocket. Does this mean LEGO supports reselling? Not necessarily, but it doesn't seem too concerned about curbing it either. At the end of the day, the toughest question is, who's really to blame for this problem? Option 1. LEGO. You could avoid this problem by increasing production, implementing better purchasing restrictions, or limiting the use of bots in your online store. Option 2. Resellers. Without a doubt, speculators have turned LEGO into an investment market where instead of building sets, they keep them sealed only to sell them for more in the future. Option 3. Buyers. Yes, we are also partly to blame. Every time someone pays double for a set on eBay or Amazon, they are incentivizing resellers to continue stockpiling. If we stopped buying at those prices, the resale market would collapse. The solution is not simple, but it is clear that as long as demand remains high and supply is limited, the resale problem will not go away. Now that we know how this problem works, the big question is, what can we do as LEGO fans to avoid falling into the resale trap? Although resale won't disappear overnight, there are several strategies that can help you get the sets you want without paying ridiculous prices. If a set interests you, don't put it off. Many of the sets that end up out of stock and resold at high prices are those that people ignore upon release and then become popular over time. If a set is on your wish list, try to get it as soon as possible to avoid paying more in the future. And if you see stock dropping on the official store, it's probably a sign that it's about to sell out. If a set is out of stock, the first thing to do is not panic and rush to buy it on eBay or Amazon at inflated prices. In many cases, LEGO restocks after a few weeks or months. If a set has just sold out, regularly check the official LEGO store or authorized retailers like Amazon, Walmart, or specialty stores. Sometimes you can even subscribe to notifications to find out when it's back in stock. Not all sets are retired at the same time. Some remain in production for years, while others disappear in less than 2. If a set has been on the market for a long time and LEGO hasn't announced its retirement, you probably still have time to get it without rushing. But if you see a set on the upcoming retirement list, then it's time to act quickly. If you can't get a set at a fair price, instead of spending money on resale value, invest in improving the way you display your collection. Something as simple as an acrylic display case or LED lights can make your collection look amazing without having to spend hundreds of dollars on overpriced sets. In fact, I already made a video where I show you the best ways to display and protect your LEGOs, with display cases, lights, and shelving that are truly worth it. If you want your collection to look spectacular, I recommend watching it right now. I'll leave it here above and also in the description. If the LEGO community stays together, it's easier to find alternatives to reselling. You can join Facebook groups, forums, or Discord servers where people share when a set is back in stock or where to find it at a good price. Well, sometimes you can even trade sets with other collectors instead of paying inflated prices to resellers. In short, although LEGO resale is a real problem, there are ways to avoid it. By buying at the right time, being patient, understanding production cycles, and focusing on enjoying what you already have, you can continue enjoying this hobby without paying ridiculous prices. Now tell me, have you ever had to overpay for a LEGO set, or have you managed to avoid resale with a trip? Let me know in the comments. I want to know your experience. If this video was helpful, leave a like and subscribe for more LEGO content. And remember, if you want your collection to look amazing, don't forget to watch this video. See you in the next video.